when we go in and build web apps that we want to put anything and everything we possibly can. But remember this, if you don't remember anything else I say tonight, this is extremely important. When people go to a web app and they're punching in and they have to scroll a page and a half to find what they're looking for, they're usually not going to stay on the app very long. It's almost worse than having a full website up. And the reason for that is they're looking for very specific information. And I'm going to share that with you in just a moment. People stay on the front page of a web app anywhere from 7 to 15 seconds looking for what they're looking for. So you've got 7 to 15 seconds to hit exactly what they're looking for. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't build the app deep, and I'll show you what I mean by that in just a moment. We have a couple of people that are in our program that understand building deep very well, Rex and Sherry. Nobody understands building deep better than they do, and because they build directories, and their directories are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages deep. On your initial page, you want to make it simple, you want to make it quick, you want to make it easy to find, you want to give them the information you're looking for. Now, I will say that a directory is a lot different than just building a business app for someone. And that's what I'm going to be talking about tonight, is building that business app. Remember this, think simple. Many of you have heard the old term KISS. Keep it simple, silly. Okay? That's not what the last S stands for, but that's the nice way to put it. Keep it simple, silly. How much is too much when building an app? Some applications tend to pack quite a few buttons into each of the application views. Even if the buttons are of a decent size so that a user can click on them, there is another issue that app designers should be aware of. Okay, and I'm taking this from a professor at a college in Toronto who actually teaches mobile app studies. Okay, so this isn't coming from me. This is coming from an absolute expert in the field who literally studies just the concept of building the mobile app. The more buttons presented to the user at one time, the more difficult it is for the user to choose one of them. This is especially true for novice users. Now, the majority, and you know this just from dealing with your clients, the majority of people you deal with do not understand mobile apps, and neither do their customers. They don't understand navigating mobile apps. They don't understand going through mobile apps. So you have to keep it simple, and you don't want to make it so convoluted that they don't understand what they're looking for when they're only looking for a phone number. It's interesting to note that as an analogy, a touchscreen device can be thought of as, and this is extremely important terminology right here, that you need to share with your customers. What you have set up for them, what you have given them on this little touchscreen device is a communication channel. It's a way for them to communicate and receive communications from their customers. This device can be thought of as a communication channel where the goal is to minimize the entropy of the interface or require the least information from the users for each touch selection. So you don't want to just overbear them with information. Number one, they don't have time to read it. Most of them are in a hurry. That's why they go to the mobile app. They're usually looking for directions. They're looking for a phone number. They're looking for maybe a product that they're in searching for to see if you have. But most importantly, directions, who you are, and click to call. Those are the most important 3 buttons of a mobile app. Generally, most user-friendly apps tend to have an interface entropy of under 3.5 bytes. The maximum entropy for an interface is approximately 5.5 bits on an iPhone, accounting for average finger size and screen size. So our app buttons fit in this category. Okay, the buttons that you see, they're designed to fit that category. And they're designed so that when you take your finger and you tap on it, it's big enough to where you're not trying to just squeeze your thumbnail in there, your fingernail in there to do that. What this means is that you should keep the total number of touchable UI or user interface elements to less than 10 per view. Now Google says 7, okay? So think about that when you're building these apps, 7 to 10 buttons on the front page. Now, what does that mean? You're going to have your click to call button. You're going to have your about us button. You're going to have your directions button. Okay, you'll probably have your Facebook page. Some companies have Twitter, some companies don't. If you set up Twitter, you may want to put their Twitter page. Then you'll want to, maybe if it's a restaurant, you'll put a restaurant menu, or if it's a store, you'll put some products. So right there, you're up to 7 buttons. So don't overburden and overbear that front page of that app with too many buttons, or they're going to go away from it. It's not user-friendly anymore. And like I said, this come from Parham Arabia. He's an associate professor of electrical and computer engineering at the University of Toronto. And he's a graduate course on advanced mobile user interfaces and directs the mobile applications lab. So this is a guy who has done extensive study and understands probably, I know way more than me, the psychology of the mobile app and how to build a mobile app and what people are looking for. What do consumers really need, or what do they want? The answer to that question is ever-changing when it comes to apps. However, here are a few basics. Consumers want easy access to product and store information. What is product and store information? Store information is their address, their phone number, okay, location, that information so that they can find the place. Help planning and navigating trips, door-to-door directions, and the ability to communicate in real time, meaning what? They want an interface on the front of that app that they can either send a text message and or they can send an email, or they can click the tap to call, something that they can communicate with immediately. Now let me stop right here for a moment. I bet I get 20 calls a week saying that the interface of the navigation system doesn't work. And I always, and the first thing I say is your GPS on? And they say, yes, my GPS is on. And then I say, well, you've got to make sure that your apps are communicating with your GPS system. Then the argument is, well, my GPS is on and it still doesn't work. I'll give you an example on an S3. And all phones do this, okay? You have to go into settings, and then you have to go into location services, and the first button on locations and services says, allow apps to use data from sources such as Wi-Fi, mobile networks to determine the approximate location. If the GPS cannot communicate with your app, then it doesn't know where you're at, and it's going to give you something like, can't talk to your phone, can't talk to your navigation system, or your navigation system's not connected. So you may have your GPS on, but you have to physically go in and tell your phones to talk to the apps. If that's not on, you won't talk to any app, okay? So that has to be on. 99.99999% of the people do not know that. So if one of your customers call and says, hey, this says it won't connect, they haven't turned on their system to where it will speak and talk to the app. Your phone, the phone's out of the box. For example, my S3, when it came out of the box, it was not set to talk to a mobile app. So you have to physically do that. I'll do a video where I literally shoot a screen of this and show you how it's done on an Android phone. But you have to go into your locations and services or your GPS section of your phone, and it's going to say in there to allow the app and the GPS section to speak to one another. You have to have easy access to product and store information, help planning and navigating trips, and the ability to communicate in real time. So what are they saying there? We need about 3 or 4 buttons on our page that are really essential. Now we want to put our social sharing buttons on there. We want to put our Facebook on there, and we want our Twitter on there. I've seen people put 15 social media buttons on that page. They're not going to use it. Do this. Put a social media button on there that takes them to all the social media pages. Now you've got 7 or 8 social media buttons on one page. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? I'm going to stop right here because this is one of the number one questions I get is, Kerry, how do I set up in my mind, how do I blueprint this out, how do I put this together in building my app? If there's any questions at all, let's go ahead and throw 1 or 2 out there, and I'll go ahead and answer them real quick. Anybody at all? Okay, everybody's saying they understand. That's exactly right, Chris. I could not have said it better, and thank you for saying that. Less is more. Very good way to put that. Less is more. Very, very, very good way to put that. So remember that statement. Less is more. And that came from Chris. That didn't come from me. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to get right into building an app. And I'm going to pull up the old app wizard. And we're going to create a new app. And I'm going to build this just like, and 2 reasons I'm going to do this, because this girl's not mobile ready, and after I finish doing this app, I'm going to shoot her an email. So I'm going to come in, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up her website. This is her website. Now the first thing I want is I want to get her information and where she's at. So there's got to be, here's about Jennifer. Let's see if it's on there, and probably not. So let's go over here to contact Jennifer, and we find the information we want. Okay, here's her address. Here's everything about her. So we're going to come in here and we're going to create the app. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go create a new web app. Now of course the first thing I've got to do is I've got to put the information in here. Now this is how I normally do this. I come in, and I pull this up, and I copy everything I need. And I'm going to put her contact information, and I'm going to make sure I get her about us information. Why am I going to do that? Because that's the most important stuff. I'm going to save her picture, and I build a folder for everything. So we're going to put her picture in there. I'm going to copy this data. Now I've got her about us data. I've got her information on her address, her phone number, and everything. And then I'm going to search a listing, and I'm going to go to a basic listing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a listing. I'm on a single-family residential in Rockwall, Texas, and bedrooms. Now, for time's sake, I've already saved some pictures. I think I've pulled this house right here. So I've got all this information, but we're going to come in, and what you want to do, especially now, what we're going to build here is a real estate app, obviously. And now we're in multiple offers, needs highest and best money, find a gorgeous 1-story home, hard to find 3-car garage. Okay, this is all the information about that. I'm going to put that over here. This is the house. And I can come in here and I can get some more information if I want it. These are the basic features. I'm not going to overburden this with all this information. You can if you want, if that's what your customer wants, but I don't recommend it. So I've got my information. Now what I would do is I would click on this. You can see it's got a big photo gallery. I would come in here and I would select the photos. Okay. Now I've already done that, so I'm not going to do that. So you want to pull the images right off of the website. So now let's go back over here, and I'm going to go ahead and create this. And remember, I've got my information all right here. Business name, business phone number, her email address, and we'll go ahead and name it just as it is on her business name, her mobile app title, and we'll call this JRH, Realty. And right now I'm just going to give her no access, and we're going to say add. And we've started building her app. Now we're going to go into content. Now you can see here we've started building our app. Now you see immediately you have 3 buttons on your app. Now I'm going to show you something real quick. You can remove all the buttons from your app. Let's say I don't want that join our list, but you do want to join our list. But let's say I don't want the save to home screen. All you have to do is go in and remove that name. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to edit this one. I want to take the share web app off. I'm going to click save. I'm going to go to preview. And you see I just removed 2 buttons. Those buttons are still in there. You can go back and still put that information in there. But now I've just got 1 button here. Now let's go into general settings. I'm going to go ahead and close this. Let's go ahead and put a logo in here. Now, what I do when I do a logo, I'm going to go back to her website, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to pull up Fireworks. Everybody with me so far? Nothing too difficult, just building a app. Okay, I'm going to come in, I'm going to build me a new app, 400 by 200. That's what you need it to be. And you can drop the resolution down to about 35 on an app. That's okay. I'm going to use a custom color background. I've already done this once, and that's why the custom color is there. But I'm going to come into her page, and I'm going to select this, because this is one of the things I want to use to build her a nice app. I mean, a nice graphic. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to paste that, put that right there. I'm going to come in, and I'm going to snag this real quick. I'm going to copy and paste that. Bring it down in size just a little bit. Okay, and I've got me a nice graphic there. Now I'm going to save that, and I've already saved it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to upload that image, 400 by 200. You can see it's 0.2 megs. I'm going to save the preview, and there's my logo. Now what I want to do is come over here. I'm not going to build an icon for this, okay? Now I want to come over here to my color settings. But what I want to do is I want to snag the color off of this right here, off her website actually. Many of you have seen me use this ColorZilla. I'm going to snag that color. I'm going to come over here to color settings. I'm going to come over here to background, body, and I'm going to make the background that color. Now, I'm not going to change anything else right now. I'm going to save that, and I'm going to come and work on my buttons in a moment. Okay, now I've got my app designed, all right, and I'm ready to go. Now what I want to do is I want to come into general settings, just make sure if there's anything else. Not going to set up anything else right now. I'm going to come over here to content. Click to call phone number. Remember, I've got that on my page. Let's save that. The about us information. I'm going to come in and I'm going to copy and paste that. And you see the about us information. Now, if I wanted to, I could put the picture in there and set it up. And, for example, load, browse. We've got her picture in there. We'll center that. And we can come over here and preview. Okay. Sorry about that.
InstantAppWizard.com
/training in there. So here's the about us information. Has a nice picture of her. Now, I'm going to change this text color. Well, I get this a lot too. So why is the text you can't hardly read it?
InstantAppWizard.
On this text, it has a shadow on it. And you have to go in. If you put a text on the background, I'm going to change this text to white. And I'm going to show you how to fix that to where it's white. Okay? Because what you see there is white text with a drop shadow on it. So we're going to fix that. And we're going to come back over here to to content. And we've got that information in there. Now we're going to come over here to business info and locations. We're going to add our information again. Is everybody still with me? Is there any questions up to this point? It may be something I'm going to do, but go ahead and ask. That way if I'm not going to do it, I can make sure I do it. Any questions at all? Yes, I'm going to show you how to change the button color. We're going to do that. Anybody else? Yes, I am going to put pictures in. Yes. Okay, we'll roll on. That was very simple, and that's what I'm going to be doing. So we're going to come back over and we're going to pull her information again very quickly. Her phone number. She's got a fax number, Skype username, email address. Now, one thing she doesn't have on her site is her hours of operation, so we won't put that because we don't want to put something that's not correct. And that's something that you can ask the person that you're building your app for. But if you're just building the demo app. And so now we've got all of her data in here. We've got her address. We've got her phone numbers. We've got everything we need. We're going to check the address. And I know for a fact that's where it's at. And now we've come in and we've put a little bit more data. Go over here to the home page. Now we've got contact us information. We've got directions. Call us. You can change this. Some people call this tap to call. Yeah, I hear you, Bob. Old Control-C, Control-V. So right now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5 buttons on there. Now let's go in and start putting some content in. First thing we're going to do is we're going to come up here and we're going to come to custom content. How many of you use custom content? I know a couple of you do because I'm on the phone with you all the time looking at it. Added a weather tab. Man, this custom content, you can do anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this, let me see what the address of this property is here. 528 Presidio. Or I could also do it by listing. Let's do this by listing. And we're going to come down here and we're going to put in a picture of the house. Now once again, I already have everything in here. I'm going to open that up and I'm going to center that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right below it, and all the data that I got for the home I'm going to put underneath that. And now I want to do one more thing. I'm going to add a button right here. No, I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to come back and do that because I want to get the link for it. So I'm going to click Add Now. And you see here we've got the listing in here. You can come up here and view it. You can see we got a nice listing. Now, if I wanted to put that other information in here, the basic features, you can put that in there too. Just talk to the realtor, whoever you're doing this for, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop that down because I'm going to put something. Okay, I'm going to put that information in there, but I'm going to put a button in there that links to something. So let's go ahead and view it again. You can see the difference. Okay, it's got the basic features. Great page. All right, so now we're going to come up here and we're going to come to preview, and you can see our listing now. Now, same thing, the colors are a little bit off, but we're going to fix that. Let's come back over here to content and go up here to photos. I'm going to upload all my interior images. Actually, I'll upload everything. All those are going to pop in there. Now I'm going to come back over here. Now, this is very important what you see me do. I want to get a copy of this photo link. So I'm going to open this link in a new tab because I'm going to come back to it. Okay, here's your photos. All I did was I right-clicked on that bad boy and I said open link in new tab. You can open it in a new window. You can do whatever you want to do. But just open it somewhere else because I'm going to use that in just a moment. And then I'm actually going to get rid of it. All right? Because we don't want 5,000 things on our front page. And what I would do, and I'm not going to do it here. I'm just only going to add this one listing. I would make a button called Listings. And then I would build another app of nothing but listings. And you guys that build these directories understand what I'm saying. I would put a button right here that says listings, and then they would click on that and they would go to all of my listings. And then it would be listing 1190 whatever. Maybe it would be, if I do multiple listings in multiple cities, it would be listings, and when I clicked on listings, then it would say Rockwall, Dallas, whatever areas that realtor covers. And then they go into there, because this is what happens. They get the information off the front page. And that's what I was talking about stacking a while ago. You start stacking your pages, and you do it with multiple apps. And if you go in and look at the directories, videos in the training section, it'll show you how to stack these apps. So you would put listings, and then you would put the name of the town, and then they would click on the name of the town, and that would give all the listings that they have listed there. And then you just build that page the exact same way. But every page that you build is exactly what I'm doing here. So let's go back over here to content. And what I'm going to do is, I made me a little graphic. I'm going to come in, I'm going to edit this. I'm going to come in, I'm going to put a button right here. It says click for slideshow. I'm going to center that. And remember, I put my page up here. Now this is the link that I'm going to use. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to link to that. And I'm going to say insert. And now this is a clickable link. And I'm going to save that. Go to preview. Okay, and you can see right here, click for slideshow. Now when they click on this, it's automatically going to go to the photo section. And now they've got a full slideshow. And when it's on their phone, they can do it with their finger. Now what I want to do, so we're going to general settings, and I'm going to take that photo link out of there. I don't want the photo link in there because I'm going to do custom photos for each one. So I'm going to edit that. Take that out. I'm going to click Save. I'm going to close it. I'm going to go to Preview. And the Photo tab is gone. So now I've got my directions, my Contact Us or About Us, Join Our List, and Call Us Now. Everything that they recommend that you have is right there. Your communications, your directions, your information, and your product. Everything on one page. Now, if I had multiple listings, this would just say listings or or whatever they call that, MLS, MSL, or whatever it is, multiple listing service, that would be right there. And then I would take them to another app where there was many, many, many listings. Because once they get past the front page and they go into your other pages, they're looking for something then. So now we've got everything we need in this information. Now let's come over here and we're going to customize this just a little bit more. Let's go into color settings, and I'm going to make my text. See right here where it says text color? I'm going to make that white. And I don't want any shadow, so I'm going to make that 0. All right, so there's no shadow. Now let me save that. I'm going to show you the difference. See, now you can read it very well. Everything stands out. Take the shadow. I recommend you take the shadow off. Now, if you're on white and you want maybe a little bit of a shadow, that's okay. But usually when you're on colors and you have a shadow, it takes away from the white and it's hard to read. So I recommend that you do that. Just take the shadow off of it. Did everybody see how I did that? Did everybody see how I set the colors? Okay, now I'm going to show you how to set the button colors, because I'm going to take a color off of her site that I really like. I'm going to blow this up. Let me go over here to this. I'm going to zoom this up to about 200 because I want this color right here as a button color. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to get my color picker, my eyedropper. I'm going to get in here, and when I get it about where I want it, see it changing colors right up here? I'm going to come over here and get some meat of this. Okay, and I got the color I want it, and you can blow that up as big as you want. Now, button color, I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to change the colors of my buttons. Put it right there in background, hit enter, change the color, and that's just about the color I want right there. Border, we'll keep it like it is. You can change the gradient on these. So let me give it just a little bit of gradient, and I'm going to come up here and I'm going to leave the text color where, actually I'm going to make the text color black. Everybody see how I did the button colors, how I picked that? I made the button for the slideshow in my little program here called Fireworks, right there. I just made a little button, a little graphic, and put click for slideshow and saved it. That's about a 200 by 50. Does everybody understand how I changed the colors there and everything? So now let's save this, go take a look at it, and bam. Now that would be a very nice demo to go show someone. I mean, yeah, that would be really, really great to be able to go show someone. Now I could actually come up here and do some fancy stuff, and I could pull these little light purples and change this little bar here. So just play with the colors. But that's a good looking site. And you've got our listing in there. Not only do you have our listing, but you've got our slideshow in there. And now you've got a real estate app. Now you can do this with car dealers. You can do this with anybody that has multiple product, a multiple listing of any kind. Car dealerships, real estate, commercial real estate. And really it's just building a basic app, just putting a couple of twists on it. So I see a ton of questions have gone by here, and I know Robert's answering a bunch of them. And man, you guys don't know how much I appreciate Robert. Does the client? Yes, absolutely. When I build a demo, after I sit down with them, there's not usually too much we have to change, but whatever the client wants, that's what you want to do. A lot tougher to do if a client doesn't have a website. Yeah, yes and no. I can just about guarantee you most of your realtors are going to have websites. If they don't, just have them send you the JPEGs or whatever of their pictures. You pretty much know their colors if they're with a like Century 21 or something. You can get their main colors from a Century 21 website. If it's a realtor, they're usually affiliated, like she's affiliated with Ebby Holiday. You can usually get, the colors. Maybe she's got a color scheme. If she's got some stationery or something with her colors in it, just scan it in. And you can do the same thing. You can pick the colors off of there in your graphics programs and change the colors to whatever you want to change it to. But yeah, it is a little more work. And make sure you charge for that work. That's very important. One quick thing I want to show you we did today, and to me it's the greatest thing we've ever done because it made it simple. All your social media links are under one heading now. All you have to do is click this right here and just go down the list, whatever you want to put in. Instead of having to open 10,000 different links and going back and seeing if you've done it, you can go right here, bam, 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 put in what you want to put in. Now remember, these show up on that first page. Facebook, Twitter, Google+. You may want to put YouTube on a different page and some of the other stuff on a different page. That's the kind of stuff that you're going to have to just sit down and take a look at. Any questions on building a real estate or multi-listing site app at all? Speak now or forever hold your peace. If they are a member of MLS, they have a feed for it. Yes, they do. Absolutely. If they're a member of the MLS, they do have a feed for it. Let me say something about social media, and I know everybody wants every social media tab out there. The more tabs you have, the less likely somebody's going to look at it. The more social media tabs you have to remember that they have to sign into that stuff. They have to physically go in there and do something with that. So if they want to go to Instagram, they're going to go to Instagram. If they need pictures in their app, charge them for pictures in the app. Don't say, well, let me put Instagram. You can put Instagram in there now. All you got to do is go to custom content and link it. I mean, we don't have to build social media links for you to put all those social media sites in those apps. But when you do that, you're sitting there and you're taking them away from what the app is, which is exactly what we were talking about a while ago. It's a communication device back and forth for the company. I don't want to rain on your parade about the social media stuff, but guys, I mean, we could build social media links until we're blue in the face, but then you're going to have 57 buttons on the front page of your app, and that's just not, as the good doctor said from Toronto, it's not really sensible. In the event of the same app for 17 different locations, is it just a change of address 17? Oh, okay, thank you. Well, that just goes to show you how much I know about real estate. Yeah, all you need to do is put the different locations in there. You can go in and you can put a location tab and go into another app and literally build the different locations in there and then put those links in there. That's something else that you can find in the directory videos to show you how to do that. But that's a great idea, great way to do that is through a franchise or a broker. And thank you, Teresa, for helping me clarify that. You bet, Dukester. By the way, I just want while Duke's talking to me there. Old Duke put an ad out on the page, an ad out for sales reps. He got 20 resumes. He hired his first LA rep, and he's fixing to hire 2 more. Yeah, with the custom content, you can add anything you want, PayPal or any Google Wallet, any of that stuff. If you haven't played with custom content, that is the place to go. We got a couple of people, man, that they are custom content gurus. They use every HTML WYSIWYG thing in there we got. Duke, people are saying congrats on that, buddy, and I'm proud for you for doing that. That's great. Training does work. I appreciate the great input, George and Duke and Nick and Ken. Ken, how are you doing, buddy? Man, I hadn't seen you in a while. All right, guys. Good, Ken, good. Well, we're not going to make this a long one tonight. I appreciate everybody coming out. Was this helpful for those that were looking how to build these listing sites? Was this, did this help you with that? I hope so. If I went too fast on some of it, because I have a habit of doing that, even though I'm trying to do it as slow as I can, if you would, do like I do. Bring up the video, and you can stop it. Great, great. I'm glad it helped out. I'm glad it helped out. Awesome, awesome. All right, guys, we are going to have, and I'll make sure that Sean sends out an email to everyone. We're going to have a big webinar tomorrow night. It's going to be a sales webinar, but once again, I'm going to be going through building apps, and it's our webinars are really informational and training. So thank you, Teresa. Thank you very much. And we'll invite everybody to that. You're welcome to come to that. You don't have to buy anything, but it's a great opportunity to see. All right, folks. Everybody have a wonderful evening. Thank you for coming out. Once again, we had a wonderful crowd. I cannot thank you enough for the questions that you ask. It really helps everything flow, and it gets my mind going. All right, God bless, folks, man. We had a bunch of new people in tonight, and it's a pleasure to come to you each and every week. It really, really is. I enjoy coming out to you guys. Have a great evening. God bless, and I will see you, if not tomorrow night, definitely next Wednesday.